Day for science. Let's start by reviewing the solar system chart. So eyes up here.
Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
One more time.
Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Raise your hand. Don't pull it out. Just raise your hand if you think that you would be good if I took away the words right now. Okay, good. All right, let's start on page 152 reading. Start with terms to remember. Sundial, a tool that tells time by using the sun. Constant, stays the same. Measures of time. One of the reasons God created the heavenly bodies and spaces to help us measure time. We get our years, seasons, months, and days from God's design for the heavenly bodies. Our year. Do you remember how many days are in 1 year?
365 days.
365, and unless we have a leap year, which is every 4 years.
366.
Yes, 366 for a leap year. That is about how long it takes the Earth to orbit the Sun. It takes the Earth precisely 365 and 1/4 days to orbit the Sun. We account for the extra 1/4 day every 4 years by having leap year. Do you remember what month gets the extra day? Who remembers what month gets the extra day when it's leap year?
February.
February. So instead of having 28, every leap year it has 29. And by the way, in 2020, we did have a leap year.
Wait, what?
Okay, because that's the 4th year. The next one will be in 2024. All right, 2020 was the year of the leap year. Our seasons. As the Earth orbits the Sun, it is tilted on its axis. When a part of the Earth is tilted toward the Sun, that part of the Earth has summer. That makes sense, doesn't it? Because if you're tilted toward the Sun, you are closer to the Sun. So that would be when it's hotter, summertime. If a part of the Earth is tilted away from the Sun, that part of the Earth has winter. The Earth's tilt is what makes the seasons. It is also the reason the equator is always hot. No matter how the Earth is tilted, the equator always gets the same amount of sun. So all those countries right around the equator, they're just warm all the time, aren't they?
Yeah.
All right, top of the next page. Our month. The moon cycle in the sky lasts about 1 month. In every month, you will see the different phases of the moon. Throughout history, people have been able to measure months by watching the moon. Our day and night. Do you remember how the Earth is moving as it orbits the Sun? It spins or rotates on its axis. The side of the Earth that faces the Sun has day, while the other side has night. If we wanted to, we could tell the hour of the day by knowing the Sun's position in the sky. People a very long time ago were able to tell time by using a sundial. We can depend on Earth and the moon to consistently move in these patterns. A sunrise happens every morning. Spring will always come after winter. These constants, what was a constant? Stays the same. These constants are a picture of God's faithfulness to us. He never changes. We can always count on God to be who He is. After the flood, God promised Noah that we would always see this picture of God's faithfulness in the world He created. Read the verse with me. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Genesis 8:22. All right. We're going to skip that. That's just something you could do if you want to. Let's start with the questions on the next page. Comprehension check. The Earth's orbit around the Sun gives us our... No. How long it takes for the Earth to go all the way around here. Yes. The Earth's orbit around the Sun. The moon cycle in the sky helps us to measure our...
Days.
No.
Months.
Remember, the phases of the moon measures out a month. The tilt of the earth toward or away from the sun gives us our seasons. Did you even listen to the question? The tilt of the earth either away or toward the sun gives us our seasons. Please listen to the question. The rotation of the earth on its axis gives us our days and nights. Because when it rotates and we're facing the sun, it's day. And when we rotate and we're facing away from the sun, it's night. Space science. Space science. Many astronauts have traveled into space to learn more about what is beyond our Earth. Some astronauts pilot or command the crew of a spacecraft, while others are scientific researchers. Some astronauts have been able to live and work in a space station as it orbits the Earth. Turn page. Astronauts make repairs to satellites or space equipment. If they need to leave their spacecraft or space station, they must be very careful. Their tether keeps them from floating into space. So it's not actually a rope, but it is something that would connect them to their space shuttle or their space station. Please get closer to your book so you actually look like you're following along as I read. It would take months or even years to travel to some planets. Some planets are too dangerous to land on because of the temperature or the conditions in the atmosphere. Instead, scientists send unmanned space probes such as landers and rovers to collect data and pictures. When this information is sent back to Earth, scientists are able to learn many new things about space. Earth, our home. The more scientists learn about outer space, the more they can see that the Earth is very special and unique. No matter how hard we look, we could never find another planet like it. Do you remember what makes Earth so special? Because it is designed for life. It is the only habitable planet. By the end of the fourth day of creation, Earth was finally ready for animals and people. God provided Earth with the right air and weather, a beautiful landscape of seas and dry land, a constant supply of plants for food, and the heavenly bodies that give us our sense of time. God even made sure everything would keep working in the orderly way He designed. The space beyond our solar system is so vast that we could never explore all of it. Only God knows everything there is to know about the universe because He created it. The power of our God has no end. Our study of outer space leaves us in awe of His great wisdom and strength. What a mighty God we serve. Read the verse at the top of the next page. By the word of the Lord were the heavens made. Psalm 33:6.
What are some ways of God?
Why are you talking now? Stop talking now. Where astronauts live and work in space. Space station. The rope that keeps astronauts from floating into space.
Tether.
Unmanned aircraft that takes pictures and collects data in space.
Space probe.
Our sun and all the heavenly bodies that orbit it.
Solar system.
Solar system. You better know that one. That one's going to be on the quiz today. The last four planets made mostly of gases are the
Outer planets.
Very good. The outer planets. It takes Neptune the longest or shortest time to orbit the sun.
Longest.
Yeah, 'cause it's further away. A galaxy is a system of
Stars.
Stars. A blank is a group of stars that make a picture.
Constellation.
And the moon reflects the light of the
Sun.
All right, very good. Let's review now for the quiz. We're going to review for today's quiz. We're also going to review for the quiz you're going to have next week. All right, first of all, no, just sit down. Earth's solar system is part of what galaxy?
The Milky
Say
Way.
Milky Way. We're just going to board it today. The planets closest to the sun are the
Inner planets.
And the planets farthest from the sun are the
Outer planets.
The largest planet
Jupiter.
and the only planet designed for life.
Earth.
The closest star to Earth.
Sun.
A a group of stars that make a picture?
Constellation.
And a planet's full orbit around the sun is called a?
Year.
The continual path one heavenly body has around another?
Orbit.
The sun and all the heavenly bodies that orbit it?
Solar system.
And the imaginary line on which Earth continually spins or rotates?
Axis.
A large heavenly body that orbits a star?
Planet.
The outer planets that are made mostly of gases?
Gas giant.
A heavenly body that is a giant ball of hot glowing gas?
Star.
Star. Our star is the sun, but make sure you say star because remember there's other stars out there and they're still just hot balls of glowing gas. A star that's almost always located above the North Pole.
North Star.
All right, now let's review for the next week's quiz. All right. A spacecraft where scientists live and work while orbiting the Earth.
Space
Space
station.
station. A heavenly body that orbits a planet.
Star.
No, think about our planet. What orbits our planet?
Moon.
Guys, just think. Think about, she said planet. Our Earth is a planet. What's orbiting our Earth? The moon. The length of time given by Earth's orbit around the sun. Earth's orbit all the way around the sun. A year. Very good. A person who travels in outer space. Astronaut. A hole on the surface of the moon.
Crater.
Very good. A large piece of rock that orbits the sun.
Planet.
No.
Asteroid.
Asteroid. A large piece of rock. A planet is not a large piece of rock. Asteroid. Remember those large pieces of rock that orbit the sun are called asteroids. The phase of the moon in which you cannot see the moon at all.
New moon.
New moon. You need to sit up and pay attention. A tool that tells time using the sun.
Sundial.
A type of rope that keeps astronauts from floating into space.
Tether.
Earth's moon is a natural blank of Earth. What do you call? Go ahead. Satellite. Very good. So Earth's moon is a natural satellite of Earth. That means man didn't make it. Remember, there are things out there that orbit, and man made them, and man shot them up into space and made them where they go around and orbit the Earth. But the moon is a natural satellite. If you need to stand up to perk yourself up, stand up to perk yourself up, okay? I just need you to wake up. The moon is bright in the night sky because it does what to the sun's light? Reflects. Very good. The side of the Earth which faces the sun is having day. Very good. The ocean blank are caused by the moon's gravity.
Tide.
High tide or low
tide.
We're just going to say tides. You don't have to say high tide and low tide every time, okay? Right. If less than half the moon is visible, we call it what kind of moon? Less than half. Crescent moon. It is called a crescent moon. If less than half of the moon is visible,
I thought you said moon.
if less than half the moon is visible, it's called a
Crescent moon.
When all of the moon is visible, we call it a
Full moon.
It's a moon.
And that's it. All right. Time to take the quiz.
On the chart.
You didn't study for it, did you? Did you study for it? Sure you're not ready for it. You need the cover sheet, the pencil, and the eraser. Section is fill in the blank. There is a word bank, and there's 2 extra answers that will not be used. Do not Mitch McLaughlin me. Raise your hand only. is matching and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no extra answers there. You would just use them all. No extra answers. So, fill in the blank, make sure you spell it right, because there's the word bank. And then at the bottom, matching. 2 extra answers in the fill in the blank. Were you ready to take any of the tests that I asked you to be ready for? Do you know? The solar system? Well, that won't be until we take the test, which will be after we come back from distance learning. We won't take that test till then. You studied spelling? List 10? Yes, list 10. Well, I want you to take that Monday. So you can study some more, okay? Study some more. But you weren't ready for that science or that history that I told you to study? Not yet? Right, be ready for that on Monday too. What? Can't read a word?
No, you should take away that chart because we can just look at the planets and see what their name is.
We're not doing that.
No, you're not doing that, right?
Well, no. I'm saying we could. If some of us are. 'Cause I'm not even on the question